Have you ever wondered how a small tank could make a big impact on the battlefield? Today, we're diving into the story of the Hungarian Toldi Light Tank, a remarkable vehicle that played a significant role during World War II. Born from the Swedish AB Landsverk L-60, the Toldi tank was a symbol of Hungary's military ambition in the early 20th century. But what made this light tank so special? Stay with us as we uncover the history, design, and battles of the Toldi, revealing secrets that many may not know. You won't want to miss how this little tank faced the might of larger forces and what ultimately led to its legacy. The Toldi light tank traces its origins back to the Swedish AB Landsverk L-60 light tank, which began service in 1934. The design of the L-60 was innovative for its time, featuring a tracked hull, a turret for firing, and a compact shape that made it agile on the battlefield. Hungary recognized the potential of this tank and decided to license its production. From 1939 to 1942, the Toldi was born in Hungarian factories, where it would be assembled and prepared for combat. The Toldi was known formally as the 38M Toldi, but it was often just called the Toldi tank. The Hungarian military produced several versions of the tank, each with improvements over the last. The first variant, the Toldi I, had a 20mm main gun and an armor thickness of 20mm. It was a lightweight tank that could maneuver quickly, making it suitable for reconnaissance missions. However, only 80 units of this variant were made. The next version, the Toldi II, introduced thicker armor, up to 35mm, providing better protection for its crew. This version was produced in larger numbers, with about 110 tanks built. Imagine being inside this tank, feeling the rumble of its engine as it speeds across the terrain, knowing you have a little more safety thanks to the upgraded armor. As the war progressed, the Toldi II emerged, featuring a more powerful 40mm main gun. This version represented a shift towards better firepower, but the demands of war were changing rapidly. The German forces had already showcased their formidable tanks, and the Soviet T-34 was becoming a game-changer on the Eastern Front. The Toldi II was an upgrade, but it still struggled against these more powerful adversaries. The final production variant, the Toldi III, was an improved model, but only 12 were ever made. Each variant showed how quickly technology had to adapt to keep up with the needs of war. The Toldi tank family totaled 202 units during its operational life, a small number compared to larger tanks produced by other nations. Visually, the Toldi tanks were compact and practical. Their design consisted of a hull supported by tracks, with 5 road wheels on each side. The driver sat at the front, while the turret was located on top, providing a 360-degree field of fire. This simple yet effective design allowed the Toldi to navigate various terrains, from muddy fields to rocky hills. The engine powering the Toldi was a Bussing-Nag 8-cylinder gasoline engine that produced 155 horsepower. This engine allowed the tank to reach speeds of up to 29 miles per hour. Picture a tank zooming across the battlefield, its crew ready to engage with the enemy or scout ahead. The maximum range of 124 miles gave it enough stamina to perform essential missions, ensuring it could return safely to its lines after scouting or reconnaissance. The armament of the Toldi was a mix of power and limitation. The Toldi I and II were equipped with a 20mm main gun, which, while useful against lighter targets, was becoming ineffective against heavier armor. By the time the Toldi II and III rolled out with their 40mm guns, the landscape of warfare had already changed. Tanks like the T-34 could easily outclass them in terms of firepower. The Toldi light tank first entered combat in 1941, during the Axis invasion of Yugoslavia. Imagine the chaos of war, soldiers rushing, tanks rumbling, and commanders shouting orders. The Toldi tanks worked alongside German and Italian forces to push back against Yugoslavian defenses. This operation lasted only 11 days but demonstrated how quickly the Toldi could be mobilized. After the invasion of Yugoslavia, the Toldi tanks found themselves on the Eastern Front, facing the fierce Red Army during Operation Barbarossa in June 1941. As they approached the Soviet lines, the Toldi's light armor and firepower faced serious challenges. The T-34s and KV heavy tanks, with their thicker armor and stronger guns, posed an existential threat. Picture a Toldi trying to fight off a T-34. It was like bringing a knife to a gunfight. Despite their limitations, the Toldi tanks played a crucial role in reconnaissance. They were often used to gather intelligence, relaying enemy positions back to command. Imagine the driver and commander working together, using their radios to send messages while moving stealthily across the battlefield. This role was vital as it helped larger forces understand enemy movements, even if the Toldi tanks themselves were not suited for direct confrontation. The Toldi tanks were named after Miklós Toldi, a Hungarian knight and national hero. This choice reflected Hungary's pride and ambition in military innovation. The spirit of Toldi, a figure representing bravery and valor, embodied the hopes of the Hungarian military, even as the realities of war began to set in. As the war progressed, the Toldi tanks became less effective against newer, heavier tanks. They were eventually phased out of frontline service, but their legacy lived on. The skills learned and tactics developed during their use influenced future Hungarian armored vehicle designs. Reflecting on the Toldi's journey, we see not just a tank but a piece of history that tells us about innovation and adaptation in warfare. It reminds us of the struggles of smaller nations during tumultuous times and their efforts to hold their ground in the face of overwhelming odds. The story of the Toldi Light Tank is a testament to the courage and determination of those who operated it. These tanks may have been small, but their impact on the battlefield and the legacy they left behind is significant. They represent a chapter in military history where innovation was essential for survival. As we conclude this journey through the history of the Toldi Light Tank, remember that every tank has a story, every battle has a lesson, and every piece of armor represents the hopes and dreams of those who fought. If you enjoyed this exploration of the Toldi Light Tank, please consider subscribing to our channel for more fascinating stories from military history. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you, and your support helps us bring more incredible stories to light. Join us on our journey to uncover the past and celebrate the heroes of history. Thank you for watching.